Gentlemen, I have failed you. My latest attempt to tame the Furies has unfortunately not been successful. As it turns out, trying to contextualize the intricacies of an isometric world created by some communists fueled on depression is rather difficult. It's a process that at times made me feel like I could conquer the world through the power of writing and disco alone, and at other times made me feel like I could bawl my eyes out next to the shader due to my inability to open a damn door.
Frankly, you're just going to have to accept the fact that you can't get in through every single door.
Kim, what the hell do you mean? So instead of having my brain matter turn into mush by Wikipedia the game, let me take you on an adventure about a game that lets you return to Monkey, sponsored by the world's worst dad and a cow, with the sole purpose of purging the heretic. Boltgun is about the greatest source of renewable energy in the history of mankind. Guns.
Hate Boltgun!
At its core, you play as a living, breathing whirlwind of religious zealotry, motivated by the masculine urge to break shit down. The game's protagonist is a John Boltgun, the space marine equivalent of a Roman centurion. Try to imagine a 2-meter tall dude weighing around half a ton and wearing armor as thick as a fridge.
What took you so long?
Not that fridge. That can survive orbital drops. Into hell.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this.
Well, according to the space book, this is just a typical Monday.
What kind of sick fuck?
That's pretty much your blueberry protagonist. He is sent by the Imperium of Man to investigate the hive world of Graia and rid it from its chaos taint, but does so now in this pixelated fashion so to accommodate a Japanese audience. Excuse me, haven't we been here like 12 years ago? Yes, indeed. Go watch the previous review. Shameless plug. On his quest to secure mankind's property, he'll end up killing spawns of the Brab God, the Groiper God, the one that hates everyone equally, and de facto rejects of the future of the Catholic Church. As the unofficial sequel to Space Marines and the first FPS with a boltgun in it since Darktide, this engaging, hardcore male gameplay takes the extended and complex build of a modern boomer shooter, shrinks it down the peg to an autistic level, and then drops it down some more off of a fucking cliff. Until the product that comes out of the other side resembles a miscalculated warp jump that sent us back into the gosh darn 90s.
This is great.
This game is so much fun, and I'm going to be spending the next minutes screaming about it.
Bruh.
But before we get to do that, we need to talk about the current state of 40k titles. Oh boy, do I like this new era of 40k games. Despite the fact that GW seems really confused about where they want to spend their money on.
Alright, mate, what you got for us?
So my whole plan is that we're going to put some cars, some tanks, some choppers, all slew of vehicles in the 40k settings. Alright, and then we need to have them driven by orcs. Okay, and we need to call the speed freaks. Oh, that's a wonderful idea. So how about your buddy over there? Well, I propose that we play a 40k version of Gwent. What? Yeah, a good children's card game. The kids like that, adults as well. They get addicted to that stuff. Well, I actually don't think that it's gonna work. No, it's gonna work. We just need the aid of our friend here, microtransaction. You know what? Sold. Well, at least that's how I imagine that a lot of the talks are going. No, like seriously, some titles are actually pretty original when they don't deal with some of the mainstream stuff. Others actually made me enjoy playing some turn-based combat. And some enamored me simply by having a cool-ass intro. But the place where 40k gaming peaks is when you're simply having fun, and fun is exactly what they were aiming for here. And that shows when you boot up the game. Upon enthusiastically booting up the game, I felt as if I was post-concussion BJ Blazkowicz, taking a nap and waking up in the pixelated world of Wolfenstein. Because, with the rendering techniques and stylization of today, we get to return to a time where pixel count per lines were a thing, and when enemies were nothing more than 2D baked textures that spun around to look 3D. While this often results in a poor-looking game of the present, this is truly what I would call a blast from the past. And the blast is exactly what you're going to get here, because you need to play the game in a fun way or else you'll lose. Because shit has been given here in terms of linear design and gameplay. Movement is paramount, fast reflexes are required, especially on higher difficulties. And yes, while your armored blueberry wears plating thick enough to withstand anti-vehicle weapons,
Surprise, motherfucker.
dodging will at a lot of times be very necessary. But fret not, for the main ingredient in having that fun gameplay is the arsenal. The Boltgun is the first weapon in your loadout. This, along the chainsword, can get rid of the more basic enemies with a single shot or swing. And for every new weapon that you find, the new one doesn't so much become a substitution, but acts rather as an addition to your ways of killing chaos. But how do you kill chaos? Well, a bolter to the face, launch a grenade, use your shotgun, a heavier bolter to the face, laser beam, read a book, give your opponent CTE. Goddamn autism. But equally as important as your ways of killings are your ways of healing. As per the nature of the type of game design, your health bar isn't regenerating. Meaning that much like that one manual about sharing and caring has taught me, if healthcare isn't provided continuously through the working campaign called life, you must take it by force. Your type is an O negative, meaning that the more blood, the better. And trust me, there will be bloodshed. But as an alternative to healing by killing, the game also provides you with medical supplies that you can find spinning around and spread across the entire breadth of each level. And the same thing applies when it comes to the reinforcement to your armor, for which I must state is a freaking genius move, calling it contempt. As you see, in the 40k universe, the Imperial dogma teaches humanity to hate chaos and Xeno so much that contempt can render a person immune to corruption. It's literal protection through sheer spite. That should be the slogan for a condom ad. Unfortunately, unlike games like Doom Eternal or the AI President Rages 2, your weapons don't have additional modes that enhance their capabilities. For that, you're going to search for secrets. In an old school way, all spread across the vast levels that are designed like labyrinths but certainly dialed down for movements instead of complexity. The secrets you'll find will provide your weapons with more accuracy or firepower, and also for your body. There will be enhancements that increase your tenacity and hatred so to more effectively purge you unclean. Now, I can't promise anything, but there are some secrets that do way more than that. Jesus Christ, if by the end of your search your mental state hasn't declined to that of a raving macaque, the game will introduce you to some super duper weapon called the Great Gun. Now these things obviously can't just shoot
a hole into the surface of Mars,
but it can kill this enemy and his friends faster than the TikToker pranking somebody in an American suburban household. I can't believe that we're getting our own bootleg BFG. I highly recommend picking up this game for PC, because aside from the WSD buttons, the game will make you use like 12 more buttons, because please don't be that much of a casual and use the mouse wheel. Think of it as your initiation into the art of La Campanella. So what more is there to say about Boltgun? Yes, the graphics. This is the part where I laugh about how ugly games are so much better than the pretty ones. Because whenever I hear somebody say, Unreal Engine is running gaming.
Why, bruv, you have a license for that offense. Have you seen the digital retro piece?
Sure, the game can look like a third cousin. Some old-ass looking dude on the verge of death. But it is like owning a Fiat Panda, one that drives like a Koenigsegg. The performance is what you're looking for, and when a game offers a cleaner, more dialed-down first-person shooter look, that in contrast with the improved movements and modern gameplay just work, it feels exactly like where I would like a 40k FPS to go. And much like other ugly games out there that don't exactly rely on wooing you in like a motherless man drawn to a Twitch spot, there is a slider that will make the game uglier if you so desire. I would even go so far as to recommend changing your aspect ratio and resolution for more immersion, but if you don't want to, that's okay, man. There's after all a limit as to how brown baggy a game can be. There's barely any story, reasons or words in this game, except for the binaries of your skull body, and that's because the game doesn't need them. When you play a symphony where the instruments are high caliber firearms, lasers and spells materialized by the chants of demons, the only story you need to tell is how it ended with somebody getting a bullet through the cranium. But if we must, 1 Brazilian years ago, old boy Captain Tinnitus and company came to the planet to stop an orc invasion and secure a blocky Eva called Invictus. In the process, they discovered and were duped by agents of chaos into unleashing the demon plague onto the planet. Tinnitus dealt with the weapon that caused the issue, but was arrested for it because of a snitch that did not approve of free thinking outside of the space Bible. And thus the case was closed, or so we thought. Fast forward years later, you are brought to investigate the possibilities of our enemies using yet another artifact. So to expand the cosmic butthole known as the Rift, called by the Inquisition Special Division for demon hunting, you set out to fight small enemies, medium enemies, your mama-size enemies, in 1 vs Legion arena-style combat.
I like those odds.
And somehow survives. I swear, every game that features an Ultramarine are like something Matt Walls is screaming his pants to. Like, goddamn, why didn't they hire him to write 40k game plots? But most notably are these bastards, the bosses. Whether it is the Psyker from the Brother Legion, the COVID beast, or the one that really wants to make you think that birds are real. Sadly, there are no Slanusi included in this game. They are all very challenging. Sure, smaller enemies have mildly annoying abilities like the Nurglings trying to lick you really hard, the Chosen that unceasingly wants to rush B, or the flight and burst abilities of the Boomcopter.
Disgusting!
Yeah, those are quite annoying, but when it comes to the bosses, they have teleportation that makes these mofos disappear from your peripheral vision. How am I supposed to mail this futuristic pipe bomb to your face when I'm being overwhelmed? In some cases, you have this fat blob who not only has the power of anime on his side, but can also create sonic booms through the sheer size of his girth. Because he's giganto, a bit avocado. To defeat him, you have to make sure to hit that bell icon before he smashes that subscribe button. Go-Go Gadget or Black Hole Grenade.
Nice.
Psycho Boy here can shoot lasers that cut half of your health. Does some kind of magic, and why in the hell does he have a shield? And finally, Michael Keaton is... Nah, I just hate those birds. Please do not take this as complaints, those mechanics are freaking awesome. But occasionally, you will encounter moments where they link the health pools to lesser minions. In which case it of course means that you have to focus on killing the lesser minion first. But in the case that they link the health pool to each other, get ready to prostrate yourself because the God Emperor isn't helping anymore. Lie down, try not to cry a lot. Naturally, I've got to touch on the performance real quick, because boomer shooters have got to play smooth. And lo and behold, the non-AAA title is, well, very optimized. I mean, it would be weird if a game like this wouldn't be running smoothly, but I played it on the 3080 and later on the 3090, with a good 20-ish hours before updating to the day 1 patch. So all the footage that you've seen so far has been for that timeline and I'm really pleased. The audio is also really crisp, the weapons are punchy, the chainsaw is gnarly, and the soundscapes are just mwah. Now why in the Imperial fuck did they not include the music from the intro, or the menu will that be, into the game? That is basically my only complaint. It has some old school notes that through a lot of processing will remind you of the Warhammer games of the late 90s to early 2000s. To me, it almost feels like I'm playing a remake of a newer title, one where they at least gameplay-wise had the bare essentials running smoothly. One where I could just kick back, enjoy the game and wonder if it was going to be used as the next scapegoat for gun violence. Now, my aim with the video is not so much to aid you into buying a great product, but more so to entertain, to showcase my experience with the game. Now, should you buy this game? Yes. Like, look at my drip, look at my sweet feet.
He's not wrong. They're cool shoes.
Gentlemen, I am clearly biased. If you like fast gameplay, pulse-pounding action, and a chance to induce early-stage arthritis, this is your game. For the first time in a while, I truly feel like I got my money's worth from a game. That being some well-spent $20. Now, all I need is Darktide to be fixed, Space Marine 2 to get a release date, and Owlcat delivering on that first-time actual 40k RPG. Here's to the success of Warhammer and especially 40k, gentlemen, because this year we are eating well. I want to thank all of you who've made it so far into the video. Making these reviews is a lot of fun, and thank you for supporting the channel by simply watching and liking these videos. Anyway, stay chill, have a great day, the Emperor protects.